Alright, people. I'm fixing to show you guys a strategy I came up with. So far, honestly, this is a strategy I'm going to use at the casino. Um, yeah, just running the numbers and running the math. I believe this gives me the best shot at winning, and I think it will you too. So, anyways, you place a $20 any seven, $24 place 6, $24 place 8, and then a $5 any craps. See, that covers 10 combinations with the 6 and the 8, and it covers another 6 with the 7, and then it covers another 1, 2, 3, 4 with the any craps. So basically, you're covering 20 numbers, 20 combinations of the dice right now. That means there's only 16 that you lose on. And you're only losing your any 7s and your craps. You're not losing your 6s and 8s on them. So,
7 out, line away. Pay the don'ts.
The way the strategy works is, of course, 6 and 8 wins. You're going to win about $2, I think. $2 or $3. You'll lose your any 7, you'll lose your any craps, but you still come out ahead by $3 if the 6 or the 8 hit. Now, if the any crap hit, you're going to lose your any 7, but you're going to come out ahead by $15. And if the any 7 hits at this point, you're going to come out ahead as well by about, I want to say,
6. No field.
I don't remember.
The point is 6.
I want to say, let's look, 20, so it's 80, 75.
Fiver, race
About 15-ish, somewhere around there. But anyways, you come out ahead on anything, basically, at the start. Now, when you get on a losing streak, like say a 4 hits, and then a 5 hits, and then a 10 hits, or a 10 hits, a 10 hits, a 10 hits, or 9, a 9, a 9, a 9, the least likely numbers, say they just keep hitting, right? Well, what you do is,
5.
You'll see here in a minute.
5. The point is 5.
If you lose one, you just, on your first thing, if you lose,
6.
if you lose your 20 and your any 7, you put them down again, 20 and any 7. If they hit right there, you're going to be back to even.
4.
Okay.
The hard way.
Well, I'll just wait till we get towards the end of the video where I intentionally make us lose. And I'll show you. I'll explain it then. Right now, just watch this. See, like right here, after 2 losses of that, then you up it. Then you go double what your any 7 was.
4.
Okay.
Pay the field.
So see, I just lost 2 there. Now you double your any 7 again. But the good thing about this is, say you just hit a 6 or an 8, you wouldn't have had to doubled. Okay, you'd have just kept it 40. So see, we're on 80 now, and you have 2 rolls of losses that you can do, right? After each progression, you have 2 rolls at the next progression before you have to go to the next one, before you have to go to the next step. But that's assuming you lost all your bets. That's assuming, a 10, a 4, a 9, or a 5 hit. Now, if a 6, a 8, or a craps hit within those rolls, you wouldn't have had to double. You could have went one more roll at the
8. Easy 8.
Basically, it gives you 3 rolls at each level. If it gives you 3 rolls at each level, if during that time, during those initial 2 rolls, you hit a 6 or a 8 or a craps.
Winner.
So then at that point, you just keep going. It's hard to explain because I'm recording over this. I'll wait till we get to the manual mode. Right now, you just watch and pay attention. Like I said, the initial starting bet is 20 any 7, $24 place the 6 and the 8, and then a $5 any craps.
6. No field.
So
The
see right
point is
here, I hit a
6.
6. You lose 25, but you gain 28. So you're winning $3. Now, it might not sound a lot,
7 out.
but there's a
Line
lot of
away.
people out there that make, minimum wage. Well, I don't know where you live, but minimum wage here is $7.25. So if I can make $3 in a roll that took, 5 seconds, hey, I'm happy, you know. So
4. Pay
all
the
right, so here was a
field. The
4.
point
See,
is
we lost
4.
that. But that's okay. We got 2 chances.
7 out.
Now, see, we hit
Line
that 7,
away.
so we're good. We're good. See, we're up $2. It's basically, this strategy is basically a hybrid martingale system. And I know what
8.
you're thinking.
No
Martingale
field. The
systems,
point is 8.
they're, unless you have an unlimited bankroll, they will eventually lose due to table limits. But,
Winner, 8.
see, with this,
Aim easy.
you have, it basically quadruples what your martingale system could be.
10.
So if you ever
Pay
watch
the
anybody else's
field. The
YouTube
point
videos
is
on
10.
martingale, they have a certain amount of rolls they can go before they reach, their table limit, or they reach the
7
end of
out.
their
Line
their
away.
cash. With this, because you have the 6, the 8, and the craps that you can win on, as well as the 7, I mean, you have to lose a lot, because while you're not hitting those 7s,
4. Pay the
that's
field.
fine.
The
It's
point
fine
is
as long as you're
4.
hitting the 6s and the 8s and any craps. Now, say you're not hitting any of them.
We got the
You have to
FIBA
go a
5.
lot of rolls of not hitting any of those to be in trouble. So see, right now I'm on
Winner,
the next
4.
progression.
Aim easy.
Okay, I missed that one, but I got one more try at it.
6.
Okay, and I
Mark the
missed that one.
6.
So now you move. Oh wait, that was a 6. So see, because I hit a 6, I don't have to move on to the next progression. I have 3 rolls
7 out.
now
Line
at that
away.
progression.
Pay the
So
don'ts.
now, see, I
Last
hit a
come.
7. I'm good. Technically, I mean, I'm $5 short. So what you could do, and I think this is what I do is I just continue at that same progression. That way, when the 7 does come up, because I mean the 7's gonna come up eventually. You know what I mean? And when it
8.
does,
Mark the 8.
now I'm gonna be even more ahead because I hit that 6 and that 8. So see, basically I'm gonna be up what I would be up with a
7
7
out.
plus
Line away.
what I
Pay
just
the
made off that
don'ts
6 and the
last
8.
come.
So see, I just want $85. Whereas normally, if I had to continue with my progression, it wouldn't have been as much. So anyways, I'm back up my initial bankroll. So you start over after every profit, or you get back to your initial bankroll. And really, you could start over.
9. Center field.
If you want to
9.
set a
Mark
limit
the
to where you
9.
only go 5 losses, if you only want to take 5 losses and you don't want to do the progression
7
past
out.
5,
Line
that's
away.
fine.
Pay
Start
the
back over at
don'ts
the beginning.
last come.
And I mean, you're still. I'm not gonna guarantee you're gonna come out ahead, but you're still got a pretty good possibility of coming out ahead. Just because, I mean, in order to lose 5 times in a row, you got to have the least likeliest numbers hit 5 times in a row. So that's not gonna happen too often. You know what I'm
Winner,
saying?
7.
That doesn't happen
Make the
very
don'ts,
often.
pay the line.
And say it does happen. Okay. Well, you can continue chasing it with the progression, or just start back over at the beginning. You'll still. I think the smartest bet would be to start back over at the beginning
12. Craps 12.
after you
Line
went
away. Bar don't.
after you went up. I'd say, yeah, 5 progressions. So say your NE7 went from 20 to 40 to 80 to 120. I'd say after that 120, even before that 120. Before that 120 shows, start over at the beginning of the progression, because
Winner,
I
7.
mean,
Pay
then
the
you're getting
line.
into getting into, well, what if it is a monster roll of, no sevens? It could happen. Very, very rarely do people roll over 20 times without a 7. And
Six.
this
No
strategy will,
deal. The point is six.
uh, it will probably get you past. It will probably get you past 30 rolls. Okay, with this strategy. Now, without a 7. Now, just because you had the 6 and the 8 covering you, plus the any craps. But that's if, after probably the 5th progression, if you just stay at 5. Don't keep going past 5. Don't progress past 5. Just stick to 5 over and over until you're hitting your 7s. Because, everything kind of, in craps, everything's random, You have to go by probabilities. You don't go by, oh, I think this table's hot, or, oh, it's cold. Granted, you can tell who knows what they're doing,
Four. Pay
as
the
far as setting the
field. The
dice and
point is
throwing it.
4.
If they're consistently hitting the same numbers, that means they have a consistent throw. But even then, it's not guaranteed. That means they have to
Winner.
do their mechanics
4. Came
correctly
easy.
each time, which is difficult. And not many people could do that. So, dice are basically random. Craps, as much as people want to
4.
say
Mark the
that,
4. Pay the field.
you can set your dice a certain way, you can throw your dice a certain way to influence the outcome. Yes, to a certain degree
Winner.
you can, to a
4.
certain
Came
degree.
easy.
But it takes a lot of practice to do that. It takes a lot of skill. And even then, it's not by much of a degree that it helps you out. It gives you a little edge over a casino, but it doesn't give you much.
6. Mark the 6.
And anybody can have a bad day. So, no matter what, you want to go with probability. And the probability states that the most common numbers that show are the 6, the 8, the
Winner.
7.
6.
You got all
Came
those
easy.
covered. Right? Plus, you have the 12, the 2, and the 3 covered.
Winner.
So
7.
now,
Pay the line.
you're banking on the fact that the least likely numbers, 10, 5, 9, and 4, you're banking that you're not going to have, 20 of those in a row. That's what you're banking on. And being that they're the least likely numbers to show, it's probably